The 2026 Oscars just gave us one of the most emotional, surprising nights in years, and it all started with this 75-year-old actress who waited 40 years for her moment. Hey everyone, welcome back. Last night, March 15th, 2026, the Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles lit up for the 98th Academy Awards. Conan O'Brien hosted, the stars walked the red carpet, and the entire world watched as Hollywood handed out its biggest prizes. But the story everyone is still talking about today? Amy Madigan winning Best Supporting Actress for her terrifying role in the horror movie Weapons 40 years after her very first Oscar nomination. That's right, 40 years. That's a new Academy record for the longest gap between a first nomination and a first win. Let that sink in while we break down the entire night, every major winner, the biggest surprises, the emotional speeches, and what this all means for Hollywood right now. I pulled everything from the official BBC winners list and reports across Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, AP News, and more so you get the full picture. Grab a snack, get comfy. This one's going to be fun, emotional, and about 20 minutes long when you read it out loud at normal speed. Let's start at the very beginning of the show. The lights went down, Conan came out with his usual sharp jokes, and the first award of the night went to Amy Madigan. She was the very first winner announced. When her name was called, the whole room stood up and gave her a standing ovation that lasted almost a minute. You could see her hands shaking as she walked to the stage. Amy, who turned 76 this year, has been acting since the 1980s. Most people know her from classics like Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner and Twice in a Lifetime, which earned her that first Oscar nomination back in 1986. She lost that year, and for the next 4 decades, she kept working TV, theater, indie films, never giving up. Then along came Weapons, a wild supernatural thriller directed by Zach Cregger. Amy played Aunt Gladys, this creepy, ginger wig-wearing witch character who steals every scene. People called it one of the scariest supporting performances in years. In her acceptance speech, Amy got emotional. She thanked her husband, fellow actor Ed Harris, for always believing in her. She even joked about all the dogs in her life that kept her going. Later in the press room, she laughed and said maybe there should be an Aunt Gladys sequel. The crowd loved it. This win isn't just for Amy. It's proof that great actors never really age out of Hollywood. It's never too late. Now let's run through the rest of the big categories so you know exactly who took home gold. First, Best Picture. The winner? One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. This political thriller about activism and division in modern America swept the night with 6 total wins. It beat out heavy hitters like Sinners, Hamnet, Frankenstein, and F1. Paul Thomas Anderson also won Best Director, his second time in that category. In his speech, he kept it simple. Let's have a martini. Classic PDA. Best Actor went to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. This was his first Oscar, and the room exploded when he won. He played a complex lead in Ryan Coogler's vampire crime drama that had 16 nominations, the most of any film this year. Michael beat out big names like Timothée Chalamet, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Ethan Hawke. He dedicated the win to his family and everyone who grew up feeling like an outsider. Best Actress? Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. The Irish actress took home the prize for playing a mother in this Shakespeare-inspired drama. She made history as the first Irish woman to ever win Best Actress. When she accepted the award, she spoke in Gaelic for a moment, then switched to English and thanked her director Chloe Zhao and the whole cast. It was beautiful and heartfelt. Best Supporting Actor went to Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. He wasn't even in the room. He was working on a film overseas, but the producers accepted for him. This win ties him for some all-time records in supporting roles. Sean has always been outspoken, and this role showed his acting range again. Now the technical awards. These are the ones that make movies look and sound incredible. Best Visual Effects. Avatar, Fire and Ash, no surprise there. James Cameron's team always delivers. Best Animated Feature. KPop Demon Hunters. This wild Korean pop meets demons movie from Netflix stole the show in the animation category. The song Golden from the same film also won Best Original Song. The performers came out and did a full number. The audience was dancing in their seats. Best Original Score went to Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. He also helped with the sound design on some tracks. Best Cinematography? Autumn Durald Arkapaw for Sinners. Those nighttime vampire shots were unreal. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's version, cleaned up in the craft categories: Best Production Design, Best Costume Design, and Best Makeup and Hairstyling. The creature design and period clothes looked like they jumped off a painting. One Battle After Another also picked up Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Film Editing, and Best Casting. Sentimental Value from Norway won Best International Feature, a quiet, beautiful film about family that moved a lot of voters. Best Documentary went to Mr. Nobody Against Putin, a powerful, timely film. There was even a rare tie. Best Live Action Short Film ended in a dead heat between two films. The presenters had to read both names. It was the 6th time that's ever happened in Oscar history, and it sent the press room into a scramble. Now, let's zoom out and talk about what made this night special. First, horror movies got real respect. Amy Madigan's win for Weapons and the fact that Wunmi Mosaku was also nominated from Sinners shows the Academy is finally opening the door to scary films when the performances are this good. Horror fans have been waiting decades for this kind of recognition. Second, gutter and comebacks. Amy at 75. Sean Penn. Even some of the behind-the-camera winners have been working for 30-plus years. It felt like Hollywood saying experience still matters. Third, international flavor. Sentimental Value winning Best International Feature, Jessie Buckley from Ireland, and films from all over the world in the shortlists. The Academy is getting more global every year. Conan O'Brien's hosting was perfect funny without being mean, and he kept the show moving at a good pace. No 3-hour slogs this time. The red carpet had its moments too: bold colors, vintage glamour, and a few surprise couples walking together. But the real star was the emotion on stage. Let's talk reactions. Social media lit up the second Amy won. People posted side-by-side photos of her 1986 nomination and last night 40 years apart. Never Give Up trended worldwide. Ed Harris, her husband of many years, posted a simple heart emoji. Directors like Ryan Coogler and Paul Thomas Anderson both shouted out the other films in their speeches, showing real respect. What does this mean for the future of Hollywood? We're seeing a mix of big studio movies. One Battle After Another from Warner Brothers helped them tie a studio record for most wins in one night, and bold original stories. Sinners proved that original screenplays with fresh voices can still dominate. Animation is getting wilder and more adult with KPop Demon Hunters. And horror? It's no longer the genre that gets ignored. But the night also reminded us how long some careers take. Amy Madigan didn't just win an Oscar. She proved that patience, talent, and staying true to your craft can pay off decades later. At 75, she's now talking sequels and new roles. That's inspiring for every actor, young or old, who ever felt too late. A quick fun fact: One Battle After Another and Sinners together accounted for 10 of the awards. Warner Brothers had a monster night. And yes, there was one tiny controversy backstage about the short film tie, but overall the show felt joyful. So here's the full official winners list one more time so you can screenshot it or write it down. Best Picture: One Battle After Another. Best Director: Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another. Best Actor: Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Best Actress: Jessie Buckley, Hamnet. Best Supporting Actor: Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. Best Supporting Actress: Amy Madigan, Weapons. Best Animated Feature: KPop Demon Hunters. Best International Feature: Sentimental Value. Best Documentary: Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Best Original Screenplay: Sinners, Ryan Coogler. Best Adapted Screenplay: One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson. Best Original Song: Golden from KPop Demon Hunters. Best Original Score: Sinners, Ludwig Göransson, and all the craft winners we mentioned earlier. If you missed the show, go watch the highlights on YouTube, Amy's speech, and Michael B. Jordan's are already going viral. What did you think of the winners? Was Amy's win the moment that got you emotional too? Drop your favorite speech or biggest surprise in the comments. If you want me to break down any specific film or category deeper in a follow-up video, just say the word. Thanks for watching all the way through this 20-minute recap. The 2026 Oscars proved that sometimes the best stories are the ones that take decades to tell. Congratulations to every winner, and especially to Amy Madigan for showing the world that your moment can come when you least expect it. See you next year for the 2027 Oscars. Until then, keep supporting great movies. Take care, everyone.